was problematic paying just to come in here. You're only going to lose. Wow. If you can believe it, this was built in the year 130. Just how peaceful this place is. There's none of this Parisian vibe where I'm being told to put the camera away or you'd have your head cut off to Islam. That was generally the theme back in the day. Antalya, a city born out of ambition, conquest, and centuries of human desire for beauty and control. Now, it all began with King Attalus II of Pergamon. He was a Greek ruler from Asia Minor who reigned in the 2nd century BC. He sought out a place of incomparable beauty for his fleets, and when his men discovered this stretch of turquoise coast, he ordered the city to be built, and he named it Antalya, effectively after himself. Now, the Romans arrived not long after. As with most of the Mediterranean, they didn't ask politely. By the 1st century BC, Antalya had become part of the Roman Republic. They transformed it into a thriving port, paving streets, erecting temples, and constructing Hadrian's Gate, which we will see later in more detail as this video goes on. A monument to the emperor who visited in the year 130 AD. But like much of this region, peace was fleeting. As Rome fractured and the Byzantines claimed the city, then came the Seljuk Turks, fierce warriors who stormed down from Central Asia in the 11th century, leaving behind their mark. Most famously, the Yevil Minaret Mosque, still standing tall as a symbol of their rule. And of course, after them came the Ottomans. They held it for centuries until the chaos of the First World War reshaped this land yet again. Each civilization took it by force, each added to its scars and its soul. Antalya's beauty had always been both a gift and a curse, a prize fought over by empires who refused to let go. Today those echoes remain. The skyline is ruled by minarets, yet the streets hum with modern life. Antalya is at the heart, a city of contrasts, faith and freedom, history and hedonism. You can hear the call to prayer across the rooftops, and 5 minutes later you'll find yourself sipping a cold beer by the marina. Unlike in the more conservative East, here the locals seem comfortable straddling two worlds, proud of their heritage yet open to modern pleasures. Welcome to Antalya, and here I am in southern Turkey, and I'm going to explore this amazing city. I'm going to try my best to show you what we can see in a couple of days, so join me. What is your price for the king that is Jesus? 300. It's a good price.
Don't lose your chance.
I won't lose my chance. He has to listen to that though.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
Like Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Like Chris.
Yeah.
We are Muslims.
I know.
And today is Friday.
Friday prayers.
Yes.
Yeah. It's nice.
Can you pay me cash?
I can't pay you anything. I've got no carpet. I've got no home. But thank you, sir. I never really buy anything. I never buy anything, to be honest, because I don't try to have too many possessions. The occasional time I will buy a knick-knack for a friend and family. But for myself, no. I still have this carpet that I bought, probably about the same size. My first ever vacation away on my own with one of my friends. We went to Tunisia. This. Trying to speak here, and we've got to speak over the mosque here. Islam didn't quietly settle in this region. It arrived by conquest. When the Seljuk Turks swept into Anatolia nearly 1,000 years ago, they carried both faith and the sword. Those who converted were welcomed. Those who refused often faced grim choices: pay the jizya, tax for non-Muslims, flee their homes and head west, or lose their lives. Antalya was once a Christian stronghold under Byzantium. Then came the Ottomans, who cemented Islamic rule across the region. The cross gave way to the crescent, and the call to prayer became the sound of everyday life. The old churches were repurposed, and the rhythm and devotion forever changed. Even now on Fridays, you'll see the city paused as thousands pour into the streets to pray, sometimes because the mosque can't hold all of them at the same time. It's a striking sight, but it raises a question. Do they pray out of deep conviction, or out of social pressure? Maybe it's both, faith and conformity woven together over the centuries. Yet here in Antalya, there's still balance, a subtle resistance to complete religious rigidity. Here you can sit in a bar with a cold beer and no one looks twice. Women walk freely, often without the headscarf, and life feels open, almost Mediterranean. As I will discover in a later video, if you travel east, the picture changes. Drinking becomes taboo, and more women are veiled. Faith there feels heavier, stricter, less forgiving. 100% you'll see that in a later video. For now, Antalya stands as a reminder that even in a land shaped by conquest and faith, freedom still finds a way to breathe. Well, welcome to the old town of Antalya. You can tell it's the old town because we can hear the mosques in the distance, the call to prayer, get down, start praying to Allah. Over here, we see the old Roman city walls. Very historic old town, which we're going to go and explore. The old city walls of Antalya aren't just fortifications, they are witnesses to the sands of time. They were first raised by the Romans over 2,000 years ago. It was strengthened by the Byzantines, Crusaders, and later the Seljuks, each leaving their mark in stone and blood. But these walls never stood for peace, they stood for fear, the fear of the next army, the next empire, the next demanding submission. Within these ramparts, countless lives were lost, not for justice or mercy, but for power. As the centuries passed, the city burned, rebuilt, and burned again. Today the walls are calm, wrapped in flowers and sunlight, but behind their beauty lingers the echo of screams, prayers, and ambition. They remind us that the story of civilization is rarely gentle, it's written in conquest, and Antalya's stones have read almost every chapter. So this chap is going to let me try the Sultan tea. Thank you very much for your kindness.
You can first smell after drink.
Wow.
Good for flu, for kidney, for bone, for sinus.
That clears the airwaves, doesn't it? It's like some Vicks vapor rub in a teacup. Wow. It's like a full menthol soup.
Horrible.
Yeah.
So we said ginger, cinnamon, muscat, eucalyptus, mint, turmeric, like 15 kind of spices have inside.
Was it made for the Sultan?
Or for tea.
It's very, you definitely when you want this when you're sick.
If you will be sick or never will be sick, you can drink
Every day?
You never will be
sick. Wow. It's potent, but thank you very much for trying. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. What's the name of this place?
Reba.
Reba.
Yeah, Reba spice.
Reba Spice. You want to check out the tea at Reba Spice. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
It is potent. So this guy was born 220 BC. Not bad. Very real chap. He came to power when he was 62 years old, and he lasted until he was 82 years of age. The myth is people died young in those days. Not true. Once you got past childhood, sometimes you could live to a ripe old age, very similar to today's humans. Moments ago, we stood before the bronze statue of King Taurus II, the founder of Antalya, right at the threshold where the old town's walls meet the bazaar gates. From that very spot, his port city's lifeblood has flowed into the lanes for over 2 millennia. Byzantines fortified it, but it was the Seljuks in 1220 who roofed the main arteries with vaulted ceilings, protection for silk bales arriving via camel from Konya. Ottoman tax records from 1520 list 240 permanent shops here, spice grinders, dye makers, even a guild of Armenian gold thread embroiderers. However, the 20th century rewrote the rules. Post the Second World War, highways bypassed the caravans. By the 1980s, charter flights dumped tourists at the city's edge. Leather ateliers became t-shirt printers overnight. Store rents soared by 500% in a decade. Many hereditary traders sold out to chain stores. I note in the press that Antalya is trying to save bazaars like this. They offer schemes where zero interest loans are available for those willing to restore 16th century shopfronts. If the plan holds, it will keep trading tomorrow's tales atop yesterday's stones, just as it has since Attalus first looked out over his harbour and dreamed of a city that would never stop trading. This is the thing when I'm not a big shopper, but I find myself walking around these just to take it in sometimes, because you want to experience local bazaars. Hello. Occasionally I'll buy a new pair of sunglasses, a belt. I think today I'm after some socks. So I guess I'm in the central business district of the old town, the sort of commercial area. Guys with the ice creams, guys with their watermelons and their peaches and their pineapples. You can buy your handbags. I just got my socks actually. I didn't get it on camera. I got 6 pairs of those, those tiny little socks that you can't see your socks. Worn in the summer. I bought those, 6 of those for, let's see, €4. Not bad, eh? Not bad. We've got like football shirts here. You can buy all that if you're so inclined. Pretty much buy anything around here. Buy yourself Kaleiçi, Lambretta, vacuum cleaners. Get yourself kebabs. It's got a little bit of everything for everyone. Bras, panties, tables. Whatever you need, you get it here. This is fascinating. We've got all these people queuing up, frantically scratching away. Any luck? What? Good? Money. Ah, money to scratch. You're only going to lose. Thank you.
Ülkemizin çok ihtiyacı var. Atlas Ege için maddi ve manevi desteklerinizi bekliyoruz. Lütfen.
It really is fascinating. We have literally scratch card sellers everywhere. You've got to be in it to win it though. Now this is the kind of market I like. It's got spices, look at these tomatoes. Look how juicy those tomatoes are. The carrots, amazing vegetables, phenomenal produce. Just fresh veg, fresh bananas. You know what? Compared to the Parisian market, do you remember that one? This is clean, well managed, well maintained, civil, doesn't feel dangerous. We've got open, even though we've got open knives here, it doesn't feel dangerous. Hello. Beautiful onions. All really good. Antibiotic. I'm not saying the onions have got antibiotic sort of properties, and look at this. This is that spicy juice I had the other day. Honey, fresh honeys. I don't know if you can see that. Fresh honey. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, look at these watermelons. Just have a look at this. If I can get squirrels around. Amazing watermelons. Grapes. I've had some pretty good Turkish wines since I've been here. There are some good Turkish wines. Look at this. Notice how no one minds filming here. Notice the difference? Because they're not breaking any rule. Antalya's open-air bazaar is like the inside of a painting. No fluorescent aisles, no barcodes beeping, just mountains of produce so vivid they almost look photoshopped. But this isn't digital trickery, it's the real thing picked hours ago from the soil still holding last night's dew. I know you can't smell it, but in the air you can smell the earth, the salt, feel the sun. There's zero wax, zero appeal, zero edible plastic invented in a Silicon Valley lab to make fruit outlive its own flavour. In the West we're told long shelf life equals progress. Here, shelf life is measured in hours, not weeks, and the taste is proof. Let's talk about money. 15 lira for a kilo of tomatoes, that's half an American dollar. A watermelon you can't wrap your arms around, 8 lira. 25 pence. A whole breakfast for two, cucumbers, peppers, olives, feta, under £2. In New York or London, that's the price of a single avocado flown in from Peru and shrink wrapped like a crime scene. This isn't premium or artisan, it's Turkish culture, it's Friday lunch, breakfast, sliced tomato, cucumber, cheese, bread, lunch, stuffed peppers, lentil soup, yogurt, dinner, grilled aubergines, beans, salad. 3 plant-heavy meals every day, no diet app required here. The Mediterranean diet isn't a fad here, it's muscle memory. Now contrast what I filmed in Paris's Barbers street market. That place was overcrowded, littered with cigarette butts, and lots of criminal behaviour. Hands would reach for my lens. I was told again and again to stop filming. But here in Antalya, I walked everywhere with the camera. No one batted an eyelid. Everyone was friendly, the ground is swept, the air smells of citrus, not urine. And why is that? Because it's well policed, unlike Paris. Uniformed officers stroll, not loom, but also homogeneous. One culture, one rhythm, one set of manners. Trust is the default here. Now these farmers aren't rich, but they're not serfs either. They own their land, set their prices, talk directly to the eater. Almost every lira spent here lands in the pockets of the man who woke up at 4 AM to pick it. In the West, that same lira becomes shareholder value, executive bonuses, and patent on seed. And here's the deeper cut. We've confused convenience with civilization. We've built systems that punish flavour, reward durability, and we call it efficiency. Mediocrity, mass-produced and marketed as choice. Turkey reminds us that eating well isn't elite, it's ancestral, it's democratic, it's a human right we've quietly surrendered to the globo-corporatization of the New World Order. So here's the call. In the West, stop funding the mediocrity machine, skip the supermarket altar, hunt for your local farmers markets, pay the grower, not the gatekeeper, demand soil over silicon, taste over shelf life, because if we don't support the hand that feeds us, one day we'll wake up in a world where every memory of sun-ripened tomato is wrapped in plastic and sold back to us as heritage. Antalya's Friday market isn't nostalgia, it's a blueprint. It's safe, it's clean, it's alive, and the future of food starts with choosing colour over convenience every single time. And it is with travel that I'm reminded of what we have lost.
Before my camera dies, which is about to die, I just wanted to highlight just how peaceful this place is. There's none of this Parisian vibe where I'm being told to put the camera away. There's no aggression. People are all getting about their business. They're all selling amazing produce. They're surrounded by incredibly organic type produce. Look at the size of this. Look at this corn on the cobs. It's amazing. And it's very good value. You can even buy it cooked if you want to buy it cooked. You can see that. Buy it cooked. Buy it raw. Yeah, compared to the video that you saw of me walking the streets of Paris, everyone is just very content here. And it's just very clean as well. Look, I've got fish over here, but it doesn't stink. It's just incredibly well maintained. You would happily purchase this. 2 thumbs up for Antalya's Old Town markets because they are impressive. Amazing variety of fruit, vegetables, produce, fish, fresh fish from the Aegean Sea. Lots of eggs. Can't really complain. Look at these. I love these. Look at that. Really, really nice. So I charge my battery. Amazing. Really, 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 really good. Oh. That is heaven in a cob. Really, really good. So, this is Sultan Warriors. He's the first Turkish conqueror of the Antalya. He conquered Antalya on the March 5th, 1207. He opened the doors to foreign trade. He signed the first trade agreement between the Seljuk Turks and the people of Venice and Antalya. Effectively, He was one of these Islamists that came through this region, nomadic Islamists that came through this region, and he conquered Antalya. Now, 1207 is a long time before the fall of Constantinople, which would have happened in 1453, but this was the beginning of the end for the Byzantine civilization in this part of the world. As soon as the nomadic Islamists came through, such as this guy, suddenly the crusading Christian would be rid from this area. And then some centuries later, in 1453, Constantinople would fall to the Islamists. The area would then become Istanbul. Later would be the Ottoman Empire, would then turn into present-day Turkey. A proud statue. I believe this was unveiled this century, in the 21st century. It's a beautiful statue, but we have to remember how it came to be that someone like this came to rule over this area. Spread via the sword, you would either bow to Islam or you'd have your head cut off to Islam. That was generally the theme back in the day, and sadly in some parts of the world it is still the theme. But in beautiful Antalya, where there is peace and prosperity, it's just a beautiful historical statue to ponder and think about. Right below the monument looks like this beautiful makeshift open-air theatre. Maybe this is where people perform, this is where theatre productions get put on. Well, what a view. Fantastic view out to the ocean. We've got the old town of Antalya down here, got the mountains this way. Really is a phenomenal part of the world in terms of beauty, of natural beauty, and they have a really great climate. You've got to be envious of this climate they have. Really, really nice.
It is amazing to think what this land and also this sea has seen over the years. 2 millennia ago, it carried Roman galleys loaded with Pamphylian grain to feed an empire of 30 million. Byzantine Romans once patrolled here against Arab raiders. Seljuk corsairs later slipped through the same straits to sack Cyprus. The Knights of St. John anchored off this coast in 1361, dreaming of crusader kingdoms that never would come. Today, Turkey now guards NATO's southern flank from these waters. Russian warships steam past every spring en route to Tartus. History doesn't sleep, it just changes uniforms. The horizon stays the same.
So they got the mixed grill. What's your favourite? Mixed grill's good.
Do you know very cheap price? Normal beef steak 1,200 lira. Here mixed grill 1,400. Inside meatballs, beef steak, lamb chop, chicken shish, lamb shish, rice, chips, cigarette pastry, grilled vegetables, bread.
That looks pretty good. And? Go on. I don't. We're not hungry at the moment though.
Only 1 minute.
No. Okay.
Camera.
You got a camera, yeah. You got a camera.
Oh.
So you got.
Like FBI, CIA, MI5.
Sadly, not MI5. Then.
Do you know BND?
BMD.
Interpol, swimming pool.
I do. They know me. They know me.
MI5.
They know me. Yeah.
And me and you.
They
And
definitely
you
know
look
me.
panorama.
It's
Lady, come look.
a beautiful view, isn't it? Look at this for a view. Look at that.
And music. Ayrılamam. Ayrılamam. Sensizliğe katlanamam.
It's good music, yeah?
Yes, live music.
Okay.
Very good food. I give you card, you come
Okay.
back.
Yeah, when I'm hungry. Yeah, if you give me a card, I'll remember.
Promise.
Thank you very much. Baron.
Promise.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do.
Promise, okay?
I'll see what I can do, Baron.
Thank you, brother.
It's like Baron Trump, but Baron, you know.
Donald Trump.
Well, Donald Trump he's got Bannon as his son. No, Bannon Trump.
But you know, this panorama, no, Donald Trump come like here. Not come here.
He hasn't come here yet. Not
Yeah,
yet.
and
But
you
soon.
come.
Soon he will come.
You're important.
I'll let him know.
You're VIP.
I'm sure.
Of course.
We're all VIP.
What's
I
your
think.
name?
Alex.
Really?
Yeah,
You sure?
100%.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Bannon.
Nice to meet you.
Take care, Bannon.
See you later.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
I trust you come back.
Ataturk. It's all the war history. I know it was a bloody long time ago, but if you've seen my video, you'd have seen where I visited Ataturk's grave. And this is the beautiful old harbour where ice cream sellers boat tours and very much overpriced drinks and food, because everything around this harbour area, prices tend to be double what they would be on the side streets. Just having a quick glance at prices are 2 to 3 times the price that you would if you were going a couple of blocks backwards. So unless the restaurant is exceptional, my advice is go to one of the side streets. Of course, if you're not price sensitive, then you don't really care. But my experience is normally when you got a nice area, they don't have to try as hard. That's the experience. And judging by the reviews, that seems to be the case. It's very beautiful though. Worth walking around.
Congratulations on making it this far through the video. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button already, please do. It really helps this channel evolve, and it puts this channel in front of more eyeballs. So you're really helping me there. And also, if you're considering joining as a member, maybe consider joining the postcard club. That way you'll get a postcard every single month from myself.
I'm not sure if I'm going to get copyright striked here, so I'll keep it brief. Got some music on in the background, but this is a sort of very typical side street little place to drink. 120 for a beer, which is about £2, $2.50 to $3 US dollars. I'm going to have a kebab for 400, which is about €8. So I'm listing all the currencies, everyone's benefit there. I should probably be checking this out during the daytime, but I found myself stumbling across Hadrian's Gate in the evening, and this is a phenomenal artifact. If you can believe it, this was built in the year 130. Now, you would also think, well, it must have been here the whole time and people have been appreciating this since the year 130. Not so. For many, many years, you see where I am? This would be the street level of when it was built. This is the street level. And there would have been a second floor on the top of this, right at the top, probably up to the height of the castle walls just up here, if you can see that. That would have been the height of it. But strangely, it was just completely forgotten. It was forgotten about. It wasn't until the 1850s that they rediscover this, and they were like, oh wow. There's basically bits of the gold lettering that were dedicated to Hadrian himself in the year 130, found in the British Museum and at the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford. I'm glad that they renovated it. You can see what the current street level height is. It's up here. So it was kind of buried, lost in time, but wonderful, wonderful. And I love the fact that you can just walk through it. I hope nobody abuses this. You get those idiots that leave their little chisel-y marks of I was here and so-and-so loves so-and-so. But really phenomenal, a nice bit of history. The steps just give you an idea of where current street level is. And you've got to realize this is the old town. The old city walls. We're inside the city walls as we pass through here. It just shows over time, streets get higher and higher and higher. It's the same all over the world. You visit London, all of the Roman streets are much lower down. Things get built up over time and the streets get higher and higher. But this, phenomenal, really, really phenomenal.
I have to say, this is one of the monuments I was most looking forward to seeing. Locals call it the Three Arches. As I state, it was built in 130 AD to welcome the Roman Emperor Hadrian on his grand tour of the empire. This isn't just a doorway, it's a love letter carved in Pamphylian marble, a selfie spot before selfies even existed.
I couldn't resist. I had to return to this monumental Hadrian's Gate just to give you a better perspective on where the second floor would be there.
Note those grooves in the floor, those are chariot wheels. Every Roman governor, Byzantine bishop, Seljuk Sultan and Ottoman Bey rolled through here on the same stones. The gate never moved, but the world did. When Hadrian arrived, Antalya was a boom town. Grain silos the size of cathedrals, a harbour stuffed with Egyptian papyrus and Lebanese cedar. He probably stepped out of his litter right here, sandals crunching on rose petals thrown by the city's elite. Notice the two-tone of the bricks. The bottom is the original Roman masonry of rough earthquake-proof bricks. The top is the Ottoman rebuild after the 13th century earthquake flattened half the city. The Seljuks added the floral carvings you'll see curling around the keystones. The Byzantines slapped on a cross that got chiseled off when the Turks took it over. Layer upon layer of empire like a geological strata you can actually touch. For For centuries, this was the only way into Kaleiçi, the old town. Pirates, pilgrims, plague doctors, spice merchants all funneled through these 20 feet of marble. If you can believe it, in 1959, the city nearly demolished this place for a ring road. A single archaeologist chained himself to the gate. The bulldozers backed off. Today's school kids eat simit on the steps, oblivious that they're sitting on a monument that outlasted Rome itself. Stand here at dusk and you'll hear it, the call to prayer bouncing off stone that once echoed Latin hymns, Greek oaths and Turkish battle cries. Hadrian wanted immortality. He certainly got it, not in statues, but in a doorway that refuses to close. Yes, he also had Hadrian's Wall that no Englishman or no Scottishman will ever forget. Every selfie that's ever been snapped here is a modern tribute to an emperor who never imagined smartphones yet built this gate selfie-proof. Now there's a fun fact, the gate's proportions are the perfect golden ratio, 1 to 1.618. Now architects still can't agree if this was deliberate or Roman instinct. Either way it works, Instagram eats it up, but pause the scroll for a second, rub your hand on the marble, feel the warmth. That's 1900 summers stored in stone, released every time the sun hits it.
Really amazing. You can see the ancient wheel tracks, all the carts that have been through this gate. This gate would have been a watchtower as well, so people entering the city, they would have probably been held, asked questions. Some would have been, you're free to go, you're free to go. Some would have been stopped, questioned, some may have been captured. What is really strange is the fact that this is completely exposed to the public. You can see these ancient markings in the wall there. Ancient. I just hope it is preserved. My guess is this is not going to be open forever. If you've got any sense, this would be closed off and preserved because this is 1,900 years old. The old walls here. But you can see they have tried to preserve it. You can see that preservation.
Now Hadrian thought he was honouring himself, but it really does turn out he had built a time machine. Now as you step through this, you're witnessing 2 millennia at once. The emperor's ego, the Ottoman rebuild, the 21st century cafes spilling latte foam onto Roman pavements. History isn't behind the glass here, it's underfoot, overhead, and still very much in business. So next time the local council here, or someone says this is just a gate, we have to emphasize for them. Empires have risen, they've fallen, and they have rebuilt on the exact same stones. Hadrian's Gate isn't a ruin, it's a relay baton, passed from legionnaire to tourist, century to century. And right now, I was blessed to walk through it.
So I've come off slightly the beaten track to go to this favourite spot with locals. So I'm going to have myself a Turkish coffee. Simit sisteleri is a type of bagel, Ottoman Turkish version of a bagel. So this is what I'm going to try. Maybe I'll have something else depending on how hungry I am. I feel like I had a typical Turkish breakfast in the hotel, so the breads are the way to go. The shop, is it called Simit Market?
Bagel market.
Bagel Market.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. First sip of Turkish coffee for a long time actually. Last time I had it was in Mostar. Yep, it's still like I remember. Bitty, always strong coffee, Turkish coffee. I have to say it's one of the things I'm most fond about being in Turkey is trying all the slightly different food. This is a little bit like a pizza without a base. Got some more here. There we go. Like an overwhelming amount of it. But here we go. Thank you very much. This is definitely a way to put on extra kilograms while one is away.
Are your pronunciation is like US? Pronunciation is US.
Mine is like the US? Maybe. I got to appeal to my American audience.
Yeah, oh. I thought you were from America.
I could be from America. I spent a lot of time in the US.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
But no, I'm an Englishman.
Yeah, I know about your pronunciation.
Next one, for the bagel. got tomato, got cheese. Oh wow, that's really good.
But Manhattan
Very good.
is life. Manhattan, I love Manhattan.
It's a beautiful place. Thank you very much. Thank you. So here you find me in Antalya's Necropolis. It's a museum, €5 to get in. And what you see here is an ancient burial ground that's probably almost 2,000 years old. People of Greek status would have been buried here, linked to ancient Rome, ancient Greece. They would have all been buried in these little graves here. Something like 888 graves were found here. And you can see those indentations, that's probably one body. What we're going to do is going to have a quick look inside. It's remarkable because you'll see all these ancient sarcophagi here, ancient tombstones, in a way, remembering the dead. Back in 2008, they tried to build a business center here. And in trying to build a business center, they said, whoa, we better stop this. We're going to be building on top of ancient burial ground, which probably wouldn't give them the greatest of luck. And due to 2008, thankfully, people cared about the past. The archaeologists came in and they decided to dig up this place. This, for example, we have ancient Greek writing written down here. I don't know if you can see this. Greek in memory of, here we have my name, Alexander. And it's, well, it's in Greek, but it's Roman. And this is quite, look at this, have a look. Life is so miserable, a thing that death has become the most desirable refuge for humans. Now these tombstones aren't statues, they're invitations, plain slabs, some cracked down the middle, stand like quiet doormen in Turkey's first Necropolis Museum. To the people of ancient Antalya, they weren't memorials, they were signposts on the road to the next life, begging every traveller, pause for a moment and remember me. Sarcophagi carried the real hope. They were always east-facing. Sunrise meant rebirth, the soul rising with Ra or Helios, depending on the century. Families buried loved ones with clay oil lamps. They found these in the sarcophagi, and the wicks were still blackened 2,000 years later. And the reason for this? Well, they believed the flame guided the spirit across the dark river to the underworld banquet. No lamp and no ferryman's fare, the dead would wander completely lost forever. Now, some slabs predate Antalya's 150 BC founding. By Roman times, space ran low, lids flipped, new names carved atop the old, eternity recycled. Hellenistic fish sat beside a hidden cross. Early Christians have slipped faith into this journey. Globally, tombstones chart belief. Egyptians packed shabty servants. Vikings sent ships ablaze. But here, a baker's window trusted a single lamp and a stranger's wine to light her path to Elysium or paradise. It's interesting, it's not just ancient Greek, ancient Roman, it is all the ages. Over here we have 19th century, 20th century here, Christian, so all different ways to remember the ones dead. Not everyone is buried in a vase, everyone does it slightly uniquely different. This is a museum where you need to be at terms with the fact that we all die. That is one thing we have in common, we all die. The worst thing about life is that's what happens. It's not all dead people here, it is the origins of sport in the ancient world also here. We have everything from Hermes in the 3rd century, telling us about everything from the ancient Romans, the ancient Greeks, to the Ottomans, to the Turks, on what sport meant for them all. Look at those beautiful Roman statues here.
fine physiques of individuals. You see some of the things that they would have won over the ages, how sport was turned from keeping care of oneself to festivals, celebrations. Even here, look at the size of the cup, a little bit smaller than the World Cup that we see today. Ancient wrestling, depictions of gladiators, in fact. These are gladiators, men going to war in the arena, fighting the lions, the tigers, men, Russell Crowe style, talking about the amphitheatres. Today's modern stadium is modelled on the ancient amphitheatres, which, some 2,000 years old. The Ottoman era, where combat sports, we can see here slaves probably fighting each other, maybe fighting for freedom, fighting for their masters. Wrestling's been around for thousands of years, as well as boxing. Boxing dates back 3,500 years BC. Boxing's always been around. Here we got depictions on the walls of Discobolus, the discus man, the boxer waiting to repair himself from boxing. Here, more types of fighting, Turkish, Ottoman fighting. This was Ottoman fighting here. And look at this, dumbbells. This is the ancient Roman equivalent to dumbbells. I don't know if you're picking those up with your tiny little fingers, one finger at a time, but that's how they were working out back in the day. You could pick that up with a whole hand. I wonder what sort of weight they would be. It doesn't tell us, but predominantly made of limestone, marble, and marble. Greek, it's not all death here. Well, it is. So a lot of these sports would end in death. And one of the most important, for the Ottomans at least, was ancient archery. This is how they would have defeated the Byzantines and kicked them out of Istanbul with their archers. Their archers were very widely celebrated in the Ottoman Empire. And here we see ancient bows, the arrows. The bow and the arrow, just here. Quite remarkable. It's like all of these ancient sites that you find in certain parts of the world. They have had the benefit of archaeologists coming in and saying this must be saved and this must be maintained. But you almost sense it is also an inconvenience for the city. Note how we got some roof here, but the roof doesn't cover this bit, so it's all exposed to the elements. I don't know how long this will be here. I mean, the fact is, it's nice to see. My guess is they will probably build a skyscraper or something over the top of this, and then they'll have to have a glass bottom to illustrate that, look, right below us we have all these ancient graves. I don't think it will be an easy task for them to just bulldoze it, but it really depends on who's in power, and I just hope that never happens. But at the same time, it was problematic paying just to come in here, €5 to come in. It took 5-6 minutes to get the card machine working. That was problematic in itself. It's a sarcophagus down here. So there are still some things down here. But as you can see, there's nobody around. It's not a popular tourist destination, this one. But, a little bit of insight. Keen on your archaeology like I am, you can see where these graves are. You can see this chamber tomb with the dromos. So this is here. The interior of the tomb consists of rectangular pits surrounding excavated 12 skull skeletons. So 12 people were buried inside this. Imagine that. I mean, you've got to get rid of the bodies somehow, so you may as well put them in a blue vase. It's nice to see, but it's a pigeon paradise, which is a little bit unfortunate. There's a lot of pigeons here. Just one of these things. I think if you put glass over it and opened it up to the public generally, it would be aesthetically more pleasing and more people could possibly appreciate it. It's hard to tell what one can do when you find 888 graves. What are you to do? Paris, the reason you can go into the crypts and see all those skulls is because they dug up all their skeletons and then they put them somewhere. It looks like Antalya will have to do the same, and then eventually this will probably get built over. So maybe if you're looking back at this video in 100 years, this is what it used to look like. There you go. This is what it used to look like. What saddens me, though, is the pigeon mess all around us. On a modern roof that shrugs 2,000 years of faith, they poured everything into reaching the next life. Little did they think, eventually they would become a tourist site and a place for pigeons. Now, the dead are no longer beneath us, the lamps have long gone cold, but at least they made a mark on this planet because here we are remembering them.
wouldn't be in Turkey if I wasn't getting a Turkish barber. So here we go.
Müdahalene gerek yok. Yes.
Wow, look at that. That is a lot. Wow. Look at that. Yikes.
O sahte işte.
That was, oh my word. Yikes. Lots of fluff.
Yes. Şimdi clean.
What do you reckon? Thank you very much. I feel much more refreshed, much more relaxed. Thank you very much. I feel like I look younger, yeah?
See you later.
Thank you. And the name of this place, what's the name of this place?
My name is Emrah.
And the name of the shop?
Barber Emre.
Barber Emre, it's your place?
Come please.
Certainly will.
Barber Emre. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, while I feel fresh, I feel very hairless now on the ears and also hairless in my nostrils. Not cheap, not cheap. 50 euros. So, may have seen me coming. I'm pretty sure they saw me coming. I even had 3 people massaging me all while I had a bloody towel on my head, which I couldn't film. So, to be honest, probably didn't want to see that anyway. So, yeah, 50 euros. Now, sadly, I couldn't record it, but this evening I went to a Turkish hamam. Really, really nice to get bubbled down, scrubbed down. A little bit painful on the old tummy, but it did the job. I got some dirty skin off me. I then felt clean, had a massage, and then they go, well, let's put some mud on your face. And then they left me with mud on my face, and that was then left for me to clean the mud off. So having got clean, I'm suddenly having to clean the mud off my face. But now I'm having an Efes. Got the rich people down there in their little boat. It's a really nice boat down there. I have an Efes up here on the balcony. Cheers. Well, that was relatively easy. I believe that cost me 41 Turkish lira, which is about €1. Jump on the tram. No need to even buy the cards. You just use your contactless card, tap, bang. You're on the old school tram, and this is going to take me to the Museum of Archaeology. Right down the coast. Really quite useful if you want to get around this very, very large city. I mean, it has to be said, this place does feel a little bit like Rio de Janeiro. Look at this, you've got the mountains in the distance, you've got this curved beach. Really, really pleasant environment. You know what is really, really noticeable about this place? It just feels how safe it is. There's no weirdness going on. There's no guys in hoodies. There's no guys trying to sell things. There's no looky men. It's just a very safe environment, and I mean, I take my hat off, if it wasn't already off, to this place, because it's generally a very hospitable, enjoyable place. A little bit of a disaster. So the one museum I effectively came all the way to Antalya for is the Museum of Archaeology, and it was on my bucket list of places to see. I said, I've got to see this place. It's huge. I mean, look at the size of this place. You've got all these rooms. It's mega. But because I'm here out of season, they've taken the initiative to close the place. So it's closed for the next 6 weeks. I'm hearing it's going to be open come winter. So it's my fault for being a little bit too enthusiastic. My fault for expecting Google Maps to be wrong. Sometimes Google Maps is wrong. I wasn't getting information on the website, but you know, Seljuk, it's okay. It's a beautiful day. Who am I to complain? We're going to be going to Göbekli in one of my next videos, so stay tuned for that. Going to get some real archaeology. This museum, I hear, is amazing for basically checking out all of the artifacts that have been dug up and taken back to this museum. It's a little bit like a massive British museum, but for Turkey. Anyway, Seljuk, we persevere, we continue. Oh, another thing, if you do rock up to closed exhibits like this, undoubtedly you'll get a taxi driver trying to usher you into their taxi and say, look, come with me to the taxi, and he will charge you an exorbitant amount to get to the major sites, the waterfalls, the amphitheaters. A lot of money, but oh well.
When I'm out walking, I strut my stuff and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Let me go on. Like
Hey, you sir. It's so strange. I had to get a taxi probably 20-25 minutes from the beach to get to this little oasis where we got the propaganda of Ataturk, and apparently this is where the Duden Waterfalls are. There are two waterfalls called the Duden Waterfalls. There's one that pours into the sea, and there's the ones that are slightly more inland, which is where we are right now. So I'm going to explore this place. Very popular little destination. $70 to get in. That's about £1.50 really. Hello, doggy.
Hello.
Hello. It's okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Video 100 lira, photo 50 lira.
That's expensive. Normally people pay me.
My video $1 million. Turkish pancake.
Turkish pancake.
Yes. And Spanish cheese inside.
I've had that before. It's very good, but never seen it.
My favorite. Very good.
Yeah.
And breakfast.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Yes, come back and eat it.
Okay. Thank you.
like I blister in the sun. Let me go on. Big hands, I know you're the one.
So an interesting little park. You basically pay to get in, and then you get to walk through these caves. And the caves are basically linked to the waterfall. Obviously, be a little bit careful with footing. Caves are so well walked that the stone is effectively polished. You're seeing everyone from little kids to grandmas walking through here, so it's pretty safe. But there's always a risk when you're dealing with steep inclines, rocks. You bang your head on, slip on the steps.
Like I blister in the sun. Let me go on. Big hands, I know you're the one.
It's a bit of an Instagram, TikTok's favourite spot. You can see everyone sort of lined up here, trying to get their photos done, trying to get that perfect photo of them with the waterfall. Why not? It's tranquil, a little oasis in a very urban landscape. Getting here, you're just seeing tower block, rubble, more tower blocks, and then you get to this little oasis where there's a whole little cottage industry surrounding it. You have to pay to get in, but very small fee, just to keep the uptick of it. You have this beautiful waterfall here. It goes all the way out to the coast.
When I'm out walking, I strut my stuff and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check. And then when I'm out walking, I strut my stuff and I'm so strung out. And I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Body beats, I stay my sheets, I don't
Droppings. That is remarkable. The fact that those bats are still there. It either tells me there's very few habitats left for them, because why would they pick to be around all of these tourists? Tourists just literally walking by. Maybe it's the loud noise of the waterfalls sort of detracts from the fact that there's a load of tourists down here. But the average bat needs sleep during the daytime, and just the fact that all these tourists walking past, that's remarkable at the same time. Slightly concerning, but I'm not a batologist, if there's such a thing. I'm not a bat expert. I'm not Batman. And I'm not Batman, not yet. Well, as Ataturk looks on from behind me and I bid farewell to the Duden Waterfalls, I mean, at the end of the day, it was only 70 Turkish lira, so it really isn't much money. But it's the mission of getting here through that urban landscape that makes it slightly problematic. I can see why they've saved it, because there really is no greenery until you get to this point, away from the city centre. It's a theme park oasis in the urban landscape. You're not going to spend that much time here. The bats and just seeing the waterfall was probably the most fascinating, but that was it. That was it. When I say there's a cottage industry that is sort of built up around this little oasis, outside we have little pony rides going on. You won't believe what is just in front of me as I swivel my head around. We have camel rides. 2 camels. Make you feel like you're in Cairo or something. Get your picture taken on a camel. They look like reasonably happy camels. Reasonable. When I say urban sprawl, I want you to understand what urban sprawl basically means. This is what you see for blocks and blocks and blocks up until you get to the waterfalls. Waterfalls are behind this, so thank God they protected it, but sadly it is just now a theme park dedicated to the waterfall. But the nice thing is, if you're going back to the city centre, you can get a direct bus. I'm going to take this bus stop just here. I'm going to send myself way back to the centre, so I'm going to wait about 5 minutes for the bus. Google Maps is telling me it's almost the exact same time in terms of taxi. 35 minutes on a bus, 33 minutes in a taxi, so I may as well take the bus.
It's like a Turkish mashuka.
A little bit more crowded than expected.
It's like a food vlog. I regret not filming that, but I just had a wonderful kebab. Lamb shish, chicken shish, really was quite nice. Note how busy it is right now, it's super busy. It's just me walking back into the centre of Antalya. People selling their wares, look at this. Collecting wares though, which probably should say. But I've got to be careful crossing here. It is busy, it's a busy city. Jesus. I'm just getting a gobsmacked. It's supposed to be Sunday. Sunday's clearly not a day of rest around here. There's just people everywhere. Jewelry shops are packed. People on the streets. Sunday in the morning, really quiet. Sunday afternoon, super busy. Really busy. Quiet Sunday night, but there is a little protest going on. I believe this is a protest for DISK, which is a Turkish union. Low-wage workers working in factories feeling they've been taken for granted. Apparently there's been women in Turkey that have been on strike for over 270 days since the strike began in early 2025.
These men and women are standing in solidarity for the union workers, trying to get more workers' rights, trying to increase the minimum wage, because most of these people will be on minimum wage. You've got to understand inflation has gone up by 70 to 80% in the last year. With the complete devaluation of the Turkish lira, you see unions out in force, asking for more rights, asking for better pay, asking for better conditions. I know some of the women have been complaining about harassment in the workplace, unfair dismissals, but they're here to represent everything. Just a small gathering, but around me some police are gathering. Very, very peaceful.
Bu tutumu, bu emek karşıtı, bu insan onuruna denk gelmeyen
It's getting dark down the sea. Feeling like you know heaven's not like you know heaven's
That concludes my tour of Antalya. I have to say, I was really impressed with Antalya. I would have loved more time because there was just so much to see. I could have seen Purge, I could have seen some of the ancient civilizations on the edge of Antalya. I could have headed up to the mountains, and yet I didn't have time because I was so busy doing so many other things. And the food in Turkey, fantastic. Antalya has some of the finest food you could possibly ever want. Really impressed with seafood, really impressed with the meat dishes, the vegetables, the salads, everything. And now my journey continues. I'm taking an internal flight east, and I'm going to be heading to Göbekli Tepe, the cradle of civilization. As far as we know, the oldest evidence of any civilization on this planet. That is where I'm headed. Stay tuned for that video because that will be coming soon and you'll be able to witness that adventure. Hopefully we're going to see some remarkable things, but I want a big thank you to the Turkish people because they've been nothing but hospitable. I was just speaking to a taxi driver on the way here, a retired police officer, and I have to say I take my hat off to the police in this country because they keep the place super safe. I only wish the police in London would learn something from the police in Antalya and the police in Turkey because they do a phenomenal job here. I'm really impressed with the stature of the police, the behavior of the police, just the way that they go about their business. The Metropolitan Police could learn a thing or two. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this adventure. Until next time, I will see you in the next video. Keep progressing and keep wondering.